Hi everyone and welcome back to Scrollbox Unboxing with Bats, Cats and Broomsticks. Today we've got the box for month of July. Let's go dig in and find out what we've got for this month. As always, they've packaged it really well. Everything looks really nice. And we've got our sticker, our card telling us what we're going to have a challenge this month. We've got magic colours, I wonder what that's going to be. We've got a paintbrush in a number 6. We've got a little sweet, it's nice they include that every month. And we've got a set of pens. Okay. Then underneath the nice wrap tissue paper we've got our artist of the month, their print. And we've got a A5 acrylic paper pad. Now, I've used acrylic paper before, but that's always been really shiny and plasticky. This is not shiny and plasticky. And then we've got our catalogue detailing what was in the box and little hints, tips and tricks. So those magic colours are acrylic inks, which is really cool. And a little bit about the artist and a little bit of like a helpful or an interesting piece at the end. So, the paper we've got is really interesting because acrylic paper normally that I get has got this shiny, almost plastic-like layer to it. Almost like if you oversaturated it with gesso. But this doesn't have that. It's got really nice, almost cotton feeling to it. So, then we've got these acrylic inks. They look really vibrant, just from the bottles alone. Now, getting the cap off these was a royal challenge, so bear that in mind to be careful, because they do have a bit of a sort of safety cap situation going on to stop you from spilling them everywhere. But also, as you're using them, you might get them all over yourself if you're not careful how you take the cap off. So, I'm just going to swatch them all out first and see what we've got. We've got a bright yellow, a nice, rich, vibrant red. The red is a bit on the pink side of red, not on the orange side of red, but it is a very good, bold, solid red. Then we've got a green colour. I'd say that this green is a little bit like a pine forest or a hooker's green, something like that, very blue pigmented. So, we've got our green, and then they've given us a white, I assume for mixing or blending colours out with. So, I decided that in order to see how these blend and play with each other and work together and stuff like that, I would put some water on the paper and find out how they interact. So, we've got some red and some yellows on the page, and I wanted to drip in some white in with this to see how the white interacts with all the other colours, because I feel like when you swatch white on a white page, it don't really help you see how good that white is. But the white doesn't do much, in my opinion, not as much as I would like it to do, in blending, muting, or making these colours a little bit paler. So I'm a little bit disappointed with that. It doesn't make the colours as pale as I would like it to. So I imagine you'd have to layer and use a lot of white. Then we've got these pens. They are a water-based set of pens, so they will run if you get them wet. So I suggest if you want to use them with the acrylic colours, maybe use them at the end, because that's what I chose to do. They have 3 types of fine liners and a brush tip pen. Now, I wasn't too sold on the fine liners because they were just the typical, usual fine liner, and they did grey a bit. The pigment wasn't a solid, dark, rich black, which is what I would hope for from my black fine liner pens. Having them be a really nice dark grey has its uses, so I wouldn't I wouldn't be mad getting these pens as an artist at all, just that I prefer my pens to be bold, bold, bold black pens, because I like that deep contrast, but dark grey works really well sometimes too. I decided that in this video I wanted to show you guys how it would work, how I chose to try them out. And I chose to do a scene of poppies inspired by just a random internet photograph off of Google search of some poppy fields. And I tried to create a bit of a gradient with these inks, and I did struggle quite a bit to like blend them, but I'm not the most free and flowy kind of artist. I like structure and layers, and I like things to have a build-up of process to it. That's how I work. But I do watercolours, and they can work similar to this in a lot of running into each other, colour bleeding and things like that. But that's one of the things about watercolours that I personally don't enjoy doing or using or practicing that kind of method. I do feel like I should try a little bit more, be a little bit less rigid with my artwork, but I find that I've got my own little style with the way that I work, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I gave doing these poppies a go. I tried to create a rich depth, and I did try to use the other colours in here as well, but the inks did take a really tremendously long time to dry. I think I left these on my desk for a good few hours to most of a day, and I don't know if that's because that was me and I was too liberal with how much ink I put on the paper, or if it's typical for using ink in this way that it would. I wanted to take a minute and just say that I know that I haven't posted any videos in quite some time. I am hoping to get back to making videos a weekly thing. I am really sorry that I haven't been posting as much. I have been trying to sort out my studio setup so that I can start making prints of things that I paint, and so that I can start making mandala colouring books and things like that. So I'm hoping that soon that I can start making and selling those things properly. But it's slow progress, I'm afraid, on building the studio setup up. However, I do have a little bit more time to myself now, and will be trying to put together more videos and spending more time generally painting and making and creating things. I hope that watching this video you found it helpful, and that the hints and tips that I have of how I interact with things, most of these things for the very first time, is useful to you guys also experiencing these things for the first time. And that maybe I can point out some good tricks or some flaws that might come difficult for somebody who works in the same way that I work. But I'd like to think that I have a bit of a broad I'll try everything kind of artist style. So I hope that's useful to you guys. I want to say thank you to everybody who has continued to subscribe and support this channel while I have been trying to put things together to make it a lot better for you guys and develop and grow the content, because I really do care about this channel growing to something that can be useful for people and that really do help people with confidence with art and useful tips and supply in information, where to get things from and things like that. So I just wanted to tell everybody who's subscribed to this channel so far, I really do appreciate you sticking with the channel and being patient with me while I develop and grow. And also, leave a like on this video if you enjoyed watching me unbox this box and finding out what I painted with the art supplies. Leave a comment down below, tell me how you got on with your subscription box, tell me how that went for you, and let me know how your artwork turns out, if you know how to use the acrylic ink type inks. So if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe to the channel, and until next time.